This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
We haven't talked about the elephant in the room for the Cowboys. The biggest topic in the offseason, obviously, Dak Prescott. Let me just really quick, let me give you my soapbox. Like what really grades on my nerves is I just heard it this week, and I'm gonna call him out on the Colin Cowherd show. You know, Colin, some of these national sports talk shows, they just spout off stuff with just no background knowledge so, what he was saying is, there's no way you just pay him $60 million a year. You should cut him and you go sign Baker Mayfield for $30 million. And then you've got all this free money up to sign Mike Evans and whoever, without any realization that it's not feasible of cutting him, what that would do to the cap for not only this year, but for next year. The fact is Dak really, really won the negotiations 4 years ago with Jerry Jones. He got a 4-year deal instead of a 7-year deal. He got them not to include the franchise tag. He got them to include not the trade clause. So he has all the leverage right now that he's not going to give up. So real quick, we'll go right from left. Landrew, start with you. What are your thoughts on Dak? What do you want to see happen, the team do? And then we'll move over to Jimmy after you.
So my general thoughts on Dak are pretty straightforward. I get pretty upset with Cowboy fans who immediately, if they see a hat, a shirt, something I'm wearing during the offseason, that's the first thing they want to talk about. And I just, my thing for them is immediately, I would love to know the available quarterback that you would rather have, than Dak Prescott, because Pat Mahomes isn't for sale. And
you guys got Trey Lance waiting in the wing, don't you?
Right. Yeah, we have Trey Lance. And that's what I'm saying. He's done nothing but win. He's got one of the highest win percentages since he's been in the league. There's a whole lot more to it in terms of the playoff failure. So immediately, Dak Prescott is the option right now. An answer that I think he can win the Super Bowl, but that's not neither here nor there. They'll have to do it. But in terms of putting a football team together, that's what you've got right now, and you got to roll with that. I couldn't even speak to the numbers because I don't have any idea how they're able to do some of these things financially when they spread this money out and move it to here and there and convert to signing bonuses. So it'd be hard for me to give you numbers. I agree with you that Dak's got all the leverage though, and he'll probably be the quarterback in Dallas for at least 4 more years.
And that's the number that I think scares me the most because, like you said, he won the negotiations. I mean, it wasn't even. Jerry never left. He heard the bang of the gun for the race to start and fell over, and Dak was already at the finish line as far as the negotiation race. So we can't let it be a 4-year extension because then we're here again in 4 years because he's going to perform well for the next 4 years. If we get him coaches and we get him players, he's going to win 10 plus games. He's going to beat up on the division like he usually does. And we're going to have to pay him again because we all know how hard quarterbacks are to find. So what I want to see us do, if we can't get 6 to a 10-year extension out of him and just make him a lifer, like we know he wants to be a Cowboy for life. He said that since he was 14. So let's not beat around that bush. Let's make him a Cowboys for life. And let's do it for the next 10 years. Let's pay him an absurd amount of money. I don't care. And then we'll go from there and we'll cross the bridge 3-4 years from now if he starts winning 6 games a season and can't even get us back to the playoffs, right? Because one team gets to win it every year. I can't deal with the swap your quarterback. Not an MVP runner-up, not 12 wins for the last 3 years, not a guy who broke his leg and then come back and started to look like, he's looked like an MVP 3 or 4 years that he's played. Had one of the better rookie seasons we've ever seen outside of newly born CJ Stroud.
And just had his best year. And just had his best year of his career.
And coming off one of his cleanest, best, what do we need to do? Fix interceptions. Did that. Well, you can't get rid of that. Absolutely not. So you've got to pay the man and you got to pay him a lot. If you can't, though, I would rather than a 4-year deal, make him play it out.
Oh, sure.
Make him play it out. Because we can't be right back here again. Discussion negotiation. We'll pay you all this upfront money. I mean, do the $500 million Mahomes deal. 8 to 10 years. Get it done. Over with.
All right, Sammy, let's get your thoughts.
Okay. So I have to agree a lot with Landry. I think that, he is the best, especially of what we have available. I loved him last season. Like, I was amazed because I hate to say it, but a couple years before that, I was very questionable on him. I was not sure he was going to be the one to bring us to where we need to be. But obviously, I grew up, had a wake up call, and realized that, he's good for us. I think with the adjustments he's made, like with interceptions, I think he's finally getting brave after that ankle or leg break to run the ball again. And I loved seeing him
Definitely.
run down the field last year and just springing into action when we really needed him. And I think, kind of to touch in on that Jerry Jones all in, my opinion on that is he's going to try to rebuild us a little bit. And I think Dak has that stability to be able to build around in all the other positions. So I don't know about contract wise what we should do. I think at least 4 years would be a good call, if not all in, like Jimmy said. But I never thought I'd say it, but I think Dak is the guy for us. I mean, I don't know.
He's going to have to help us out, though. Like when you talk about he's got all that leverage, he also has, if he's going to be there for 6-8 years, it's on him to decide how much he wants to leave him to pay people. He's taken the biggest cut of the entire team. So,
and that's, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just curious, I'd like to also, Coles and Truck, get your guys' thoughts outside Cowboys perspective, because I have a feeling Dak is it worked well the first time. And I think he's going to do it again this year, where he's going to say, guys, the max I'm going to do is 3 years, because I want to be 34 years old and come back here in 3 years and do this all over again. So Coles, Truck, if it's 3 years, 180 million, if you're Jerry, what are you doing in those? Give us an outside Cowboys perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. You got to give him the contract. Dak has just played better than the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL over the last however many years, and it is hard to find a quarterback. So Dak is your best option right now. Pay him, give him. I'm sure Dak, like you said, wants the short-term contract. That's the better option for his career path, and you got to pay him. But I just had a quick question, Jimmy. What can you identify anything to credit to Dak having one of his best years? Is it Mike McCarthy calling the plays? Is it the addition of a Brandon Cooks, or is it his cadence that really set him apart this year? I'm just curious.
So you know what? You actually probably just named the reasons in that order, right? Because it starts with your head coach, the game plan, becoming your offensive coordinator, and what he can implement and do to get the best out of you. Then it comes secondary. What weapons are at your availability? Well, who are you throwing it to, and are they open? Separation, they're creating hands. They've got all those accessories. And then thirdly, what are we doing pre-snap, which is a lot of cadence. I mean, you absolutely just killed it, brother. You just gave every reason in order and importance. So, yeah, you answered it for me.
Okay.
I'd like to say, but before you start kissing Truck's ass a little bit too much, let's keep in mind that he swore off the Bears at one point this year.
God,
decided to be a Cowboys fan with Shane, and then they immediately went on a 2 or 3 game losing.
Next week, Trayvon Diggs immediately his ACL injury was done for the year. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of a mush when it comes to fandom. The Bears, we all know their track record. So I swore off the Bears early this season. I'm like, we them boys, let's go Cowboys for the rest of the season. And then our next episode, Diggs out for the season. I'm like, oh god,
that was hard. Bears fans travel. I know that. Last time we played you guys in AT&T, you guys showed up.
Wild.
Yeah.
That was the loudest Southern fan base I've seen. San Francisco, maybe, but yeah.
So here's where I'm at with Dak. I went to LSU from 09 to 13, and he was maybe the only person I saw come into Tiger Stadium and win. So fuck Dak. No, I'm kidding. that just honestly is a testament to him as a winner. I think so much of the quarterback position is someone that can lead a team to war and gets the entire team to buy in. So he has that ability to win over the locker room, instill that confidence, and dig really deep with his guys and win games. And I also think that Jerry Jones is the kind of owner that like will take care of his guys. So for me, it's more of a conversation with those two getting in a room and being like, all right, Dak, understand you want to get paid. You deserve to get paid. We want to make you a Cowboy for life. That being said, across the league, these guys that are winning championships, they're getting creative in their contracts so that we can put the right pieces around you and in a team to win. So how do we do that? And I think they have a good enough relationship that conversation exists, right? Like he deserves to be one of the top paid quarterbacks. How do we structure this? How do we structure this quarterback or this contract so that you're a Cowboy for life? You're getting paid what you deserved. And how does that happen? It happens in every franchise. So I think you have that whole formula that exists where it's like you have the quarterback, the proven winning franchise quarterback who just had his best year. You have the owner that it wants to win and is willing to, always have his guys back. And then they both want to win championships. So let's figure out a way to make that happen. And your contract's going to be a big, important part of that. So how do we do that? That's the conversation that needs to happen. How does that happen? We don't know. We're not in those rooms. I don't think any of us can really speak towards the contract. Like there's always just, they find extra room, in restructuring deals. Like the cap space in the NFL is crazy, right? Like I don't know that any of us can speak in detail of how they just make money appear every year.
It's fake.
So pay Dak, and then on a year by year basis, we'll have a gentleman's agreement that we're going to make it work to build a winning franchise or a winning team year after year. So it's hard to kind of get into the weeds, I feel like, but yes, make him your franchise quarterback, a Cowboy for life, have his jersey hanging in the rafters someday, and let's win 2 Super Bowls, 3 whatever, so that's kind of how I think that conversation has to go and will go, because again, it's a well-run organization and they take care of their guys.